Welcome to the AfroCentric Woman, where our mission is to inspire Black women to heal core wounds and embrace a luxurious and abundant lifestyle. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk, sis. Hi, welcome to the AfroCentric Woman. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be talking about why sugar babies and strippers stay winning and maybe what you can do to snag a few things from them to help yourself win in life as well. And let me just start off by saying I'm not encouraging you to become a stripper. And I'm not necessarily encouraging you to be a sugar baby either. So that's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is just tell you different aspects of the way they move, and so that you may be able to glean a few things from them as far as this particular archetype within femininity, which I would say is more of the seductress. It's more of the seductress type. And it can be very helpful if used the right way at the right time. So just a backstory. I remember back in the day, like when I was probably mid-20s or so. And that's probably when I really started thinking about a serious relationship. I started thinking about children around 26. That's when I started to want kids. Um, and I definitely wanted a relationship by like mid-20s. College, I could take it or leave it, but by mid-20s, I definitely wanted to be in a relationship. And I was having a hard time, because I was pretty much limiting myself to Black men and having a hard time dealing with men who are not marriage minded at all. And I just thought that, what I've learned over time is that what Black men say versus what they do, and even within what they say, is extremely contradictory. Like, they will contradict themselves within the exact same sentence. But at the time, I was listening to what they said and about them wanting a virtuous woman and all the qualities that would be great in a woman. And, I thought, well, great. I have all these qualities. I'm educated. I have a great job. I'm very stable. I'm not from pillar to post. I'm beautiful. I'm fit. I am everything that you say you want. And also, I got into gardening and composting and horticulture. Yeah, I got into horticulture. I was like a natural beauty. I did wear makeup, but not like a ton. And even to this day, I still don't wear a ton of makeup because I have a lot of natural beauty. Just everything that I thought I was supposed to do. I mean, sewing, cooking. I got really heavy into cooking and homemaking. And I thought, these are all the things that I need to do to attract a quality man and keep a quality man. And even mammies and pick-me-shas were also encouraging me as well that, I got a hold of some wrong doctrine, which I'll do another video on that. That said, like, if you're the better you treat a man, like, he's gonna rise up and like treat you the way you need to be treated. Like, the better you treat him, like take his shoes off at the door and greet him with food and just all these things, like he has no choice but to treat you good. And so I tried all those things for years. What I learned was that the more you do, the more they atrophy. The more you serve, the more they rest. And the more slack you pick up, the less they do, until you're just doing everything. You're literally doing everything in the relationship and everything in the household. And I would get so angry just at strippers. Like, why are they like throwing money at this woman to pay her rent? And I'm doing all of this. I'm literally like doing all of these things that I thought were supposed to be so virtuous and so great. And I can't get a Subway sandwich. You know, I can't consistently get you to do anything of consequence for me. And then, like, what is the deal? I wasn't as aware of sugar babies at that time, but I was aware of strippers, and it was even in the a lot of the rap songs about rappers rapping about paying strippers, rent and buying them bags and these kinds of things. And I'm like, why are all the hoes winning? The hoes stay winning, and the virtuous women stay getting depleted and downtrodden, used, abused, tossed to the side. Why? You guys say you want virtuous. I'm giving you virtuous. All these other women I see giving you virtuous, and you don't appreciate it. You don't take care of it. Like, what is the deal? Now, in hindsight, I'm in a place of I'm in the game. I'm not jealous of the game. You know what I'm saying? I understand why some women get provisions and some women do not. And it has a lot to do with who you choose to spend your time with. And it also has to do with how you move around and how you implement some of these tactics, or just the way you interact with men in general will pretty much determine if you're going to be getting somebody that's going to be investing into your life, or are you going to be getting used. And so let's talk about why sugar babies and strippers are winning. Okay, so number one is visual appeal. So visual appeal is, and it's important to both of these types of women, both sugar babies and strippers. Every single detail, from your feet, your pedicure, like your feet being soft, exfoliating your feet, exfoliating your legs, shaving or waxing, sparkles or not sparkles, what do you call that? Like bronzers on your skin so that your skin glows. Your clothes, your shoes, everything has to be detail oriented. Your nails, um, your makeup, everything. Like, they don't just go like sugar babies. A good sugar baby does not leave the house looking any type of way. They get up and invest a lot of time into putting themselves together, because men are very visually motivated. And so you don't see them walking around with sweatpants looking crazy. Everything, like the level of detail is, it's just it's very intricate. Nothing is taken for granted. Your wrist, the jewelry that you choose, the types of lashes that you choose, the makeup, the type of makeup. And it's like the more you invest into these particular things. So there's a big difference between like drugstore makeup versus like makeup that you get at Sephora, or Ulta or somewhere like that, like some of these higher end cosmetic stores. So these sugar babies are spending that extra money on the more expensive makeup because it does make a difference. And I think that when you're sort of like just a regular schmegular girl, you don't think that these details matter and you don't really notice. But if you were to spend the amount of time, energy, and resources into making yourself, every aspect of yourself, from the top of your head to the bottom of the soles of your feet to your fingertips, everything intricately beautiful and well thought, you realize how different you get treated by everybody, and especially a man that you are targeting, that you want to interface with, that you want to invest into your life. So that visual appeal is very important. Strippers do the same thing, on a different level, because it's a little bit more gaudy, like before they start working. But even like the Hooters girls, like, talking to like Hooters girls and other girls that work, other women that work at places like Hooters, where they're serving male clientele, they'll tell you like you can't come on the floor if you have a chipped nail. You can't work if you don't have certain things, like your makeup has to be done, right? Your hair has to be a certain way, like, or you can't even come on the floor, you can't even work that day. So why are these women spending all this time on their appearance? They're spending that time on their appearance to get tips and for the ambiance of that particular area. They have mastered their style. So that's another thing that comes with leveling up as far as your appearance is concerned. They have mastered their style. So they know their body inside and out. They know what assets they have. What are they going to play up? What are they going to kind of hide or, diminish a little bit versus what they're going to play up. If you have beautiful eyes, or if you have a beautiful smile, or if you have a small waist, or if you have long legs, there's all different things, but it's about knowing your body, and it's about knowing and showcasing what it is that's beautiful about you. And sugar babies are really good at this. Um, Strippers are more sexual, sugar babies are more sensual, and they definitely play up their beauty. So, what can you learn? What can you glean from that is you can do the same thing. This is probably the easiest thing that any woman can do, is to wake up and make up. Wake up, make up. Wake up and make up every single time, every day. Be on it. Like don't don't slip. If you want to be the prize, stay the prize. So once you start meeting with him, and he'll probably tell you, "Oh, I don't care, don't wear makeup." Okay, that's fine. You're not wearing the makeup just for him, right? You're wearing it for yourself as well. Well, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to come over there. No, if you're not ready and you're not put together, he's going to have to wait, or he's going to have to schedule for another day. But there's no reason for you to come to the situation looking any type of way, because when you look any type of way, you could be treated any type of way. Not to say that getting dressed to the nines, appropriate to where you're going, and taking like time with your makeup is going to save you from all like possible mistreatment, but it does put you in a position to be the prize and stay the prize. Okay. The second thing is that their presence is associated with money. So this is especially for a stripper. So no, everybody knows that, men know that in order to get this stripper's time, like if you go walk into a strip club, you have to be buying drinks, and she'll stay for a little bit, but you got to pay her to stay. Like, she's not about to just sit there and talk to you because you're a nice guy. Like, that's not how it works. So they already know, I see her, I got to be spending money. And they already allot for that as well. Like, they already know, like, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars tonight at the club. They already know. They're not delusional. They're not, coming in there like, "Oh, I just want somebody to like me for me. I just want a stripper to see my heart." Like, no, the stripper doesn't see your heart. The stripper sees your cash. And so they already know that her presence is associated with spending money. And it's the same thing for the sugar babies as well. It's an understood thing, right? Like, you understand. And sometimes, like, sugar babies are overt and it's a quote arrangement, but sometimes it's not so overt, and it may be like a special friend or a special connection, or we're spending time together, or we're dating. You can call it whatever, because a lot of guys don't want to be called sugar daddies or whatever. So it doesn't have to be that. But especially if there's a big age difference in between the woman and the man, if he's much older than her, I mean, that's pretty much what's happening, right? And so he already knows that spending money is associated with her. They expect to spend as it relates to this woman. Um, and on this dating path, the women don't end up empty handed with time wasted. So what about your presence? There's something that you can glean from that. It doesn't have to be like, "Oh, pay me and I'm going to give you a lap dance." I'm not saying that literally, but when you are interfacing with a man, that's why I encourage you to start off high. Start off with dinner or an experience or something of consequence, like brunch, lunch, something where he's spending money. He needs to associate you with spending money. It should just be synonymous. Like, I want her time, I gotta be spending money on some way, shape, or form. I know I'm about to come out some money, because it becomes a subconscious thing. It just becomes this is just what it takes. Strippers don't have to sit up there and explain to patrons why they have to pay for time, why they got to pay for drinks, why they got to pay for lap dances, why they got to tip, why they got to throw money, why they got to make it rain, because they've already set that's just the environment. And you have to take some aspect of that and make the environment around you such that if you are in this environment, you are spending money, you're investing some way, shape, or form. You're not coming here empty-handed, and you're doing and investing into me and into my lifestyle. So there are things that you can glean from that. So you don't want to start off at the park. You don't want to start off doing something free. You don't want to Netflix and chill. You don't want to do those kinds of things, right? Because you start off like being associated with no investment and no effort. You want to be associated with investment and effort. And you want to weed out anybody who is not going to do that. Just like if a stripper walks up to a guy, he doesn't want to tip her, guess what she's about to do? She's going to politely excuse herself. If she's a good one, she's going to politely excuse herself, and she's going to go mingle with somebody else that got some money. And you need to have that same cutthroat, ruthless attitude. If he doesn't want to spend on your time, you just excuse yourself and you move right on, and you go find somebody that's ready to spend and invest and do effort to be in your presence. Associate your associate your presence with spending, investment, and effort. Okay? All right. And then the third one is mouthpiece slash entertaining conversation. So strippers amaze me. I do not have their kind of mouthpiece. I mean, I have a little bit of a mouthpiece, but I don't have like a stripper mouthpiece. These ladies can talk men out of money, like with their mouthpiece. Like, just listen to strippers. Just listen to how they talk to men. They are good at getting money from men. They're good at stroking egos. Sugar babies tend to be good at stroking egos as well. They have a mouthpiece on them. So one thing that I've talked a little bit on this channel about refining myself. When you become emotionally detached, you are able to have more of a mouthpiece. So I have talked on this channel about bags. I've literally blown bags of money because I've been too caught in my feelings. I've been too sentimental. I have been too sort of like, I'm looking for a healthy, emotionally healthy guy. But that's rare, right? So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be dealing with some variation of crazy. But that doesn't mean that you can't get paid. That doesn't mean that you can't get a bag because he's a little off. So that comes to the point where not being offended. So when a guy comes at you and he comes sideways, for example, instead of you getting all up and around, you're going to flip that back on him. So something along the lines of, um, you know, if you want something, or like, okay, I'm out shopping and I was talking to somebody, and this guy took me shopping, and I'd asked an older sister, like, hey, this guy kept saying that everything that I wanted was expensive. And he was like, oh, let's go to Neiman Marcus. And I'm like, okay, you want to go to Neiman Marcus, you must be ready to spend some money. And then when we get there, he's like, oh, that's so expensive. And so she was like, well, what you got to do is ask him, can you afford this? And she said, say it real loud. Say it real loud, ask real loud, like, can you afford this? So it's not about getting offended because he is saying that the things that I'm trying to pick out are too expensive. It's about flipping it on him, right? And using your mouthpiece to counter. And it's a fine line and it's a fine art, because you're not doing it in a way to be belligerent and rude, but you're doing it in a way to play games. And I know, like, all healthy relationship advice says, don't play games, be transparent, spill out your heart, tell the truth, be so, whatever. Okay, that might work for a healthy person, but you have to keep in mind, you might not be you might not be dealing with a healthy person, right? And guys like to play games. They'll say that they don't, but they do. It's just part of the chase, it's part of the game, it's part of the courtship process. So work on your mouthpiece, and part of working on your mouthpiece is becoming more detached from feelings. So try not to get offended. Try not to take things personally that they say. I will say that. So if they try to lowball offer you, or some guys may say something along the lines of, oh, you do every man you date take you to the steakhouse? Have a response for that. If you keep getting these same, they're trying to dig in a way to devalue you because they like a confident woman. They're attracted to a confident woman. But then once they get into your presence, sometimes they don't know how to navigate that confidence. So they have to devalue you to make you manageable to them. So you have to kind of be prepared for these little shots, these little digs. As long as if they're too overt, I would say abort the mission and get out of it. But if they're like the little slight digs and jabs, just trying to kind of make you more manageable, bring you down, kind of like catch you off guard so that you could be more manageable for them, you want to have comebacks for those kind of things. Don't let them control the conversation and be putting you, backing you into a corner. Have something to say. Well, really, I want to talk about you. Well, how many men have you met on this site? Oh, you worried about another man. I'm worried about you. Like, do you want to, okay, so we have this time and we're in this lovely environment and we could be talking about me and you and what we about to do next weekend. You really want to talk about another man? And 9 times out of 10, he's gonna be like, I don't want to, like, really, that's what you want to do? Because he's trying to devalue you and saying like, oh, you've met all these men on this app or you've met all these men at this bar, but none of them want you. That's what they're kind of trying to get at. But if you have a comeback, you can redirect that conversation back to something that's going to be lucrative and beneficial to you, about him taking you on a trip or him taking you to do something that you want to do, horseback riding or to a concert or to an art gallery or to the store to get some jewelry, whatever. Bring the conversation back to something that is going to stroke his ego and it's going to be something good for you. Mouthpiece and entertaining conversation. There's some skills within that you can learn from the sugar babies and the strippers. Um, they are rules to engagement. Game. Men respect game. Men respect rules. Men like to play games. They really do. They like to play games. And no, they say they want a doormat. They really don't. They say they want a doormat. If they got a doormat, they'd be so bored so fast. They don't want a doormat. They know it's a game. Like, this is a game. We're playing like a cat and mouse game. We're playing a one-upping game. We're playing I know you want something that I have, and you got something that I want. Okay. And how am I going to get what I want from you? And I know you trying to get something from me. So we playing a back and forth game about something that we both want. And it's like a ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. So you need to let him score points. Sometimes you have to put him in time out. Sometimes you have to call out a foul. You need to know the rules of engagement. You need to know the rules. And this is where your standards come into play. So on your end, they are standards, but as he understands them, these are the rules of this game with me. Right? And so when you get out of bounds, you'll call the foul, or you'll call that, oh, that you're out of bounds on that one, or oh, you said that's too much, that's a foul. Okay, I gotta sit you in timeout. Okay, you might just get cut from the team. So have your standards in your mind and your requirements in your mind so that you can communicate them as they come up and as they develop, so that he can play the game and win. He can score points. So when he does something, you reward him, right? With either some type of touch or physical affection, or stroke his ego. And when he gets out of bounds and he commits a foul, you deduct some points or you penalize him some type of way. And penalizing him may just be indifference. Indifference is in ignoring, or just like being blank, is sometimes mysterious. Sometimes is the best way to draw them back in and make them course correct. So it's, if you go off on him, he's either going to like that because it's still attention, or you're going to push him away if he don't like ratchet stuff like that. So think about a way that this particular player in this game, how you can call a foul or deduct some points or penalize him when he is out of bounds or when he fouls and he's not playing the game as he should play the game. it's important that you know your standards, because your standards are the rules of the game.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and attention with the AfroCentric woman. Special gratitude to our subscribers. If you'd like to stay connected with this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you like this content, please hit the like button. If you have any comments or thoughts about the content shared, please drop down into the comment section and let us know. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough, you are unique, and you are lovable. And I appreciate you.